And when the sun goes down. Well, thank you. I'm on this time for good. Thank you for hanging around for that delay. I had a delay here, a mishap. You know, I'm always having them, but in time, everything is a worked out situation. Um, the subject and all of that is right before you. Here we go. All right, is right before you. So they want to be free. It is my contention that there are generations far after I've been on the scene which view life, to say the least, quite differently from the way I view life. And at the same time, and I'd like you to chime in if you wish, at the same time, I believe that they view God on a far different level than I view God. I had a men's leadership class, and in that men's leadership class that I taught these many years ago, when I was a pastor, I would educate. I kind of bragged about it and said the people that I shepherded were some of the smartest um, inner city Christians that you could find because they were like the Bereans in the Bible. They searched the scriptures to see whether the things that I was saying were so. As a matter of fact, what I asked them to do is I asked them to investigate everything that I'm saying to them in all seriousness and not to take my title or my credentials or anything that I possess as authoritative. And if they reject me, then they were to, only after they reject me, then they were to take a view of analyzing who God is and what kind of a God they're looking to follow, if I can say that. This is going to be and I believe it's going to be that it's going to be a boring session if you don't talk back to me. I'll give a reason why I wanted to bring this study. I think that people that are millennial adults have, if not a little, they have almost no regard for the God that, yeah, I'm trying to put it in words. Emmanuel's in the other room criticizing already. I'm trying to bait him to bring him in because he's not yet 30 and I want him to talk to me without totally abandoning everything that I'm talking about. Now, I have one scripture that I want to present for this insight into what I believe. And I have it printed out on my sheet of paper here. And it's Jeremiah chapter 17, verses 7 and 8. Jeremiah chapter 17, let me grab this book, verses 7 and 8. And I'd like you to just take your time there at home. And if you have a Bible, oh, I have it upside down. Jeremiah 17, 7 and 8. And if you would like to follow along, please feel free to do so and to read along and to, this is why I say that they don't have. Now, let me share with you 17, 7 and 8. Here it is right here. Okay. The reason that I'm reading from this book, listen to me. My parents and their parents and their parents and their parents were Emmanuel. Emmanuel, I'm on live. I don't want to hear you in the background. Come and close the door. All of my grandparents and my great grandparents, after their ancestors were snatched from the continent of Africa, were brought to this country, and the Bible was given to us as the book for us. I'm not here to argue whether you believe that or not believe that. You are free to accept or to reject that if you wish. I am saying that this is the book that was given to my ancestors, forced down my throat to believe if I were going to go to a place called heaven where the streets are paved with gold and everybody got a howdy, howdy, and never a goodbye. I was taught that from when I was a kid. Now, don't ask me if I believe that, because I didn't walk around and say, "For real, Grandpa?" Because my grandfather was an elder in the Church of God in Christ. And my other grandfather was a womanizer and a whore. If I undertake that to be my true grandfather, because since everybody's dying off, I'm finding out that people that said that they were my father possibly was not my father. Here I am, 80 years old, just now discovering that. So as I make these webcasts, I want you to know what frame of reference my mind is operating on. When I talk about God, I talk about a God that is all knowing. He knows everything. He hears everything. You can't hide anything from this God. His knowledge is, he's all powerful, omnipotent, omnipresent. I believe this about God. I believe he's everywhere in the blooming universe that we know, where there's planets, and he's there like he's here right now. He doesn't need air to breathe because he doesn't need lungs to breathe. He can exist on any planet in any solar system at any time. That's the God that I worship. I want to define him. I told you guys earlier that I've been diagnosed with this lumpy cancer under my arm right here, a tumor, and it's malignant. And I'm starting the consultations now. How am I feeling? I just felt well enough to do this because this thing eats and it hurts. And listen, someone even brought up this idea. Do you believe that God gave you that tumor because you've left his beaten path? I don't worship a God like that. I don't worship, Manuel. I don't worship a God that would give me a cancer because I'm not doing what I think he wants me to do. I don't say or do anything unless I know God is behind the benefit of what I'm doing. So I don't live that way. I don't live in fear of this deity that's going to come out of the heavens and strike me dead because I may be saying or doing anything that displeases him. I don't do that. Or her, because I don't know whether God is a him or a her. I doubt it. The concept of what I believe about God is much larger than that. And this study was put together that I'm going to present to you on September. It was presented the first time. I don't know whether it was PowerPoint or not, but it's called Independence Day. And it was on September the 12th, 1996. There's a copy of the outline. It is a 2-page outline right out of my library. And I thought I'd share it with you. My thoughts about God. And my thoughts about God hasn't changed. I want to quote a William Ernest Henley. William Ernest Henley stated, "I am the master of my fate and the captain of my soul." Well, I will answer that right now and say, no, you're not, fool. You ate something and you had gas. You are not the master of your fate and your soul. You are not the captain of where your soul goes. None of us are. I try to love God to a degree that I can say, listen to me, at 80 years old, I seriously, honestly hope and pray that there is a place like heaven somewhere that I can rest in the afterlife in peace. I want that. I desire that. Not because of the people that colonialized me gave me that idea in their religion, but because it's a pretty wonderful thought. And I think that every reasonable human being would want to think that. But in response and in contradiction to what William Ernest Henley might say, Jeremiah 10:23 says, I know, O Lord, that a man's life is not his own. It is not for man to direct his steps. Now, that's what the Bible tells me about the God that I worship. If any man, woman, boy, or girl on this planet that I meet that will not ascribe Jeremiah 10:23 to his life or her life, they do not worship the same God I worship. And I don't have a problem with that. I just don't know what God that is. Now, I'm going to give you some attributes of this God that I worship. That's all this is about. Because you know what I do on my webcast now. I'm trying to help the babies, those of you that's going to be left long after I die, because this tumor is going to take me out. And I'm making preparations to die. That's a healthy thing to do. But I know that since I have this malignant cancer, that possibly in human time, I don't have that much time left. So when I find a study in my notebook that is trustworthy of me spending time with you, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to explain it to you. And I do hope that you have the tenacity to listen deeply at what I have to say. And don't try to argue with me. I'm 80 years old. You don't have to argue with me. Well, I don't believe in God. That's all right. Don't believe in this God. I say it again. If you believe in the God of William Ernest Henley, then you don't believe in the God that I believe in. Because his God would tell him that he is the master of his own fate and the captain of his own soul. I would say, no, you're not. Okay, I heard my doorbell. And if it's a stranger, maybe they can join my conversation, join my argument. Those of you that look at this later will be able to come to that recognition. All right, let's go with it. Here's the problem. Most of us were raised to be independent. If you're American, and even if you're African American, you're raised, they can't tell you to shut up. They can't tell you what to think. They can't tell you what to do. That's why you see all these mad ass videos about our young people being slammed to the ground because they talk back to authority. There is no more authority in my nation. There's no authority in America. And the population think that they're free enough to do whatever they want to do. Secondly, we learn that we can author our own destiny, captain our own souls, and master our own fate. We are taught that in this country. Our children are taught that. And the danger, you listen to me, the danger of you teaching that to children is that they have no way to weigh the consequences of what they just heard. They just like the way it sounds, and so it kind of buzzes into their infrastructure. Also, I would say most of us desire to control our own lives. Human nature pulls us in that direction. We don't want anybody telling us what to do, what to believe, how to behave, how to carry on. We don't want that. And so we fight against it with all the power that we have. We desire freedom to chart our own course. In other words, if we're set on a course, that course is freedom. And freedom allows us to do whatever the Sam Hill we want to do with no consequence to it. And if you bring a consequence to it, we're going to do all we can, even at the place of losing our own lives in some cases to have our own ways. And in some cases, I would think that it would do you well to lose your own life because most people are not going to put up with that in this country. I'm too old. I have no defense against it. I just fall over. I'm dizzy now. I walk in dizziness. I used to say when I preach, bring that child to me and I'll give it. No, don't bring that child to me now. I can't help you. My body's too frail. Also, we place an effort to become self-reliant. That's what everybody teach us. Even if we have to break ranks with God, I'm doing this myself. That's why this, in a sense, is called Independence Day. I see you want to be independent, right? You don't want nobody telling you what to do. Oh, I see that traffic light is red out there, but I can go through it. I check the intersection. I can race through it. Why? Because I'm free. I can do what I want to do. I know what the speed limit is. Well, why are you going 80 in a 55-mile zone? Because I just want to see what my car can do at any time. I'm free to do it, not considering that a bolt on your tire is loose and ready to come off, which is going to plunge your ass into eternity. I'm just talking. That's all. Now, how does this independent man think? Listen to me, because it's my contingent that if you are a millennial, you think this way. You've been trained to think this way by your teachers, by the educational system that you were brought up in, by the liberal, socialistic kind of mindset to study what socialism is and embrace it as a philosophy. It has trained your mind and thoroughly invited you to investigate the easy way of life. And you know what? You're entitled to do that. So let me show you how, if you're a millennial and if you don't believe in a God that gives you orders and gives you directions like me, because I'm 80 years old, I believe that a God, I cannot define him anywhere, but I believe that a God gives me orders and directions. And when these youngsters can break in windows in stores and go in there and take anything, well, I grew up in the project, so I ain't got nothing. And so I'm going to take it and I'm going to make them suffer. That man could have worked his whole life to get that store. And you tore it up in 5 minutes. And then if they catch you with it, you're going to get some civil libertarian to say that the police was violent. Were you violent when you broke the glass top of the jewelry case? Damn scoundrel. That's what this is about. You're listening to an elder. I'm not going to pacify your ass. I'm tired of it. Certain things are right and certain things are wrong. I don't care whether you gay, straight, crooked, rainbow, Pinocchio nose. And you need your butt put in a vice grip if you say you worship the same God as me and don't think like me. Because you cannot worship the God I worship and think the way you worship or think the way you think. Now, how does he think? I want to do what I want to do, when I want to do it, whenever I want to do it, with whomsoever I want to do it with, at any time, anywhere, any place, any way. That's where you think. And you show it in the manifest behavior when you talk back to an 80-year-old man. When you try to correct me, you don't correct me. I see these funny videos that these people put up, about grandma cussing you out and all that. No, I don't want to cuss you out. I don't want to kick you, because if a millennial called the police, the adult that did it to him are going to do 50 years hard labor, because everybody's loving the children, right? Let me tell you how else you think. And you excuse me, I have to refocus my eyes. I want to satisfy my ambitions, not being dependent upon anyone else. In other words, whatever you want to do, you're living to satisfy you and you don't care about anybody else. What if it hurts your grandma? What if it hurts your aunt that raised you? What if it hurts an old man like me that always had dreams in you? Consider other people. I look at what global warming is doing to our planet and how the sun don't come out here in Southern California till it's about 2:30, and I need sunshine. And I see the way people misuse that. Wait a minute, this is you. How do you think? People let me down. God has let me down. I would not let myself down. First of all, people didn't let you down. If you're an adult, get up off your butt and do what you're supposed to do. I didn't have nobody to help me as an adult. I had to do everything myself. Most of these young people has life given to them on a silver platter. I said most of them. Some of them are suffering tremendously, and I sympathize for them. It is difficult for you to find rent under $1,700, $1,800 a month, and it's nothing but four walls and a door and a toilet to relieve yourself in. But that's the kind of world we're living in. What else does this millennial say? He says, if I'm really an independent agent, can I make it on my own, not needing to rely on anyone else? If you can, do it. But you're not going to rain on my parade. You see, what happens is when old people check you, if I tell you to turn your music down, it's because I don't need to hear the way these people talk about each other. See, you can carry a whole culture down with you. I taught this in 1996 because I told him, you wait till the year 2000 and beyond gets here. It's 2024. So the 24, 10, 5, 6. That's 20, that's almost 30 years ago that I brought this lesson. And look at us today. Look at our young people today. Who are they listening to? All right, here's another one. I will not ever have to trust anyone else. Therefore, I will avoid the pain of becoming disillusioned and full of disappointment. I don't know how they're going to make it through life unless they think that way. Because disillusionment and punishment and broken hearts are coming to you. That's on the forefront of your life. Why would you think that you're going to live life and not suffer what I've suffered? You're going to suffer pain. You're going to suffer loss, heartbreak, disillusionment, betrayal. It's coming your way. You're a human being. And you can listen to these fake gurus that'll tell you that if you chant their mantra and do their deeds, that'll never come your way. You out of your mind. But go ahead. I'm not going to stop you because this is free America. Why you think everybody's breaking down the walls to come here? They said, man, you can believe any damn thing you want over there. Matter of fact, they'll let you come in and do anything to them, and they'll just give you food stamps. You keep trying our citizens, you're going to see that ain't going to work because there's criminal behavior coming over here, crossing these borders. And when these citizens that pay all these taxes get tired of putting up with this criminal behavior, I need to clean my face. It's kind of hot in here. You can probably see it. When the citizens get tired of putting up with the criminal behavior, they're going to let you know that they're tired of it. Talking about we want to be free and independent. We're free. We don't have to. Oh, John Coleman, we don't have to listen to you. Why should we listen to you? Who in the hell told you that you know what you're talking about? Huh? I got something for you, children. Life is going to hit you. Life is going to hit you in the face like it's continuous. And yeah, I sweat around my eyeballs. I see it on this contraption. My forehead is shiny and everything. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, much better. Okay, so I'm bringing this study because I'm trying to help the youngsters of the generation that I'm living on their time, because I am living on their time, but I want to leave something for them after I'm gone. After I'm dead and gone, they can come back and listen to this. And I hope that I live long enough to supervise that it stays up long enough. And so you can sit down with your children and talk some facts with them, parents, and stop letting them believe this socialistic bullshit that these people tell them that There used to be a preacher in this town when I was a Baptist minister. He used to sing a song every Sunday before any of the church services got started, and he'd come on the radio and he'd sing this song. I got a feeling everything's gonna be all right. I got a feeling everything. And I used to get to the church that I pastored, and I would share to the people. If you listen to that clown, I don't know why he's lying to those people. It is not going to be all right. It was never intended to be all right. Life is going to take place, and each of us are going to participate in it, and it is not going to turn out all right all the time. Okay, I think I got through with that. You also say, I will have power without any pain, money, and influence without interference. Well, how are you going to do that? How are you going to have power without any pain and without money and influence and indifference? See, they think that by saying that their lives itself is going to give them momentum. No, you're talking trash. You don't have anything to offer, and we live in a democratic society where you got to make some money. Then they say, I will have the power to come and to go as I please. That's why. That's why they're acting that way. They actually believe that. You don't have the power to come and go as you please. You never have, and you never will. You're still on the damn plantation. I don't know what's the matter with you. Now, where did men get these ideas from in this modern era? That's what we have to ask ourselves. And that's a very, very important question. Where did he get these ideas from? They're kind of strange. I didn't grow up like that. Where did they get it from? Good question. The human potential movement in the 1970s started. I remember because it was in the 1970s when I started going to college, and they started telling me what I could accomplish. If you a black man, you can do this and you can do that. I was in my 20s when I started going to college, and I still haven't been able to do what some of them say I can do. But they tell you that if you believe it, you can move some mountains and make a million. What are you going to do with $10 million? I don't know what I'd do with 500,000. Hmm? All right. So it's a human potential movement. The willing, listen, the willing you way, willing your way to success, mental state of mind. You got to will your way to success. And I remember when I studied that. If you're not successful, they tell you you have to will your way to be successful. In other words, you're saying, I shall do this, I shall accomplish that. Well, that may be if you study, if you persevere, but it's not going to happen without you doing something positive. And none of this is new, by the way. None of this is new. Men has been thinking this way for ions. Here's another one. This was that. You can, this was that, and that was this. You can have it all mentality. You don't need to have it this way. You can have it this way and that way. Just will it to be. I couldn't be a millennial because I couldn't think that way. I know that that's impractical. I need a job. I need a career. I need to work in a democracy to help make it go. I can't have a holiday because I think I deserve a holiday. I should have a holiday when it's prescribed to have one, when it's safe for me to do like other people do, take some time off. But no, they will it into existence. That's when they become that independent man. Now, what is the danger of this kind of thinking? The trust in man is contrasted with our trust in God. That's the mentality, and that's firmly established because once they trust within themselves, they no longer have to trust in God. They don't need God for anything. That's why the suicide rate in certain parts in our community is very high because when it don't go that way, they feel like they've been duped and they kill themselves. This is a very serious problem in our society. One does not need that God reliant trust so much when a person thinks like these millennials because we have ourselves to live with. What? See, that just doesn't connect with me. I cannot have myself to deal with unless I believe that there was someone else that had a higher plan, even for my consciousness and my humanness, to rely upon my stability. Let me give you an example. I have this cancer, right, under my left arm. It's going to kill me eventually. I care, but I don't care. Now, do I have the power, the human potential of power, to reverse it? I doubt it. Someone may say to me, but if you have faith to believe, well, I have faith to believe, but why would God want me to live beyond 80? I can't think of one cotton picking reason except to do this. And I got notebooks and notebooks of studies. Now, if I continue to live while this thing eats, I'm fine with it. They tell me I can live for 10 more years, fine. Not at the rate this hungry baby is eating. So that's why I'm telling you. I'm giving you this study because I believe that the millennials need something to fall back on because you've bitten off a little bit too much to chew, and municipalities and regions of government in democracies. I just heard on the news on Democracy Now! Today, Amy said she reported that there's so many people coming in to the Americas now that you can't take it any longer. The seams are ready to burst. Now, how you gonna think positive? You're gonna think that into positive. Nope, you can't do it. Now, let's look at what I call the independent man. And I was told to go to Jeremiah 17, 5 and 6. Jeremiah 17, 5 and 6. You see that wince in my arm? That's the pain of this cancer. I'm not going to try to hide it from you guys. It is a bear. It is. And when I say that it smacks, it smacks. What did I say? Jeremiah 17, 5 and 6. Okay. Thank you guys for coming by to visit me. You know, I was looking at the stats on my site here, and it says that the average viewing time of a person that comes to my site is a little over 5 minutes. Well, I believe that. See, I'm not that interested to look at me. Jeremiah 17, 5 and 6. I'm not that interested to listen to young people. Not at all. This is for adults only. Yes. All right. Jeremiah 17, 5 and 6. And what I'm doing for you now is that I am presenting to you the independent man. Now, Jeremiah 17, 5 and 6. Thus says the Lord, cursed is the man who trusts in mankind and makes flesh his strength, and whose heart turns away from the Lord. For he will be like a bush in a desert, and will not see when prosperity comes, but will live in stony wastes in the wilderness, a land of salt without inhabitant. That's hard to listen to, let alone read. And you say, John, you believe that about yourself? Hey, I'm not cursed like this because I believe in God. I don't got my life. I'm going to tell you. When I pass away of this cancer, that's God's dealing. I'm not going to be like these crazy charismatics asking asking God to to bind a cancer. Bind a cancer that won't kill me. That's stupid. Now, those verses that I just read, Jeremiah 17, 5 and 6, you got it in your Bible. He shall be a man that depends upon his own personal strength. John can't help me nor hinder me. I'm not trying to do neither. I'm letting you know what this man believed when he was alive and what kept him these 80 years. But this millennial that I'm talking about, he appears to be that valiant man who is a winner by external appearances. In other words, look at how much power I have over you. Anybody has the power to come in my office right now and strangle me. I would do nothing but gag for a little air and puke up a little bit of lunch and die. So I have no power over my life in that way. But this man believes that he can control his own destiny. It is said of one popular singer that died many years ago, when he found out that whatever he had was irreversible and that he was dying, he told his family and his loved ones that he was losing. Losing what? It was never intended for him to win. I'm just being real with you. I'm trying to help you out. What else does this person do? You note the statement from Jeremiah concerning the bush and the seeds again, because the bush is burning. And let's look at those verses. It's interesting. For he will be like a tree. Look at this. Planted by the water that oh, no. That's the wrong verse I was reading. I want verses 5 and 6. 5 and 6. I was reading the wrong. Okay. He will be like a bush in the desert and will not see when prosperity comes. See what it says? And he will live in stony wasteland in the wilderness. In other words, you're not going to be fruitful if you remain like this. You have to have a bulwark, a stay, an anchor, if you will. You need an anchor besides man. Don't depend upon man to be your anchor. He's a lousy anchor. Let me put some more light on the subject matter here. It's getting dark in Los Angeles. And when it gets dark, I need it to be light. Let me put some light in on this end. Oh, ah, there we go. That's better. That's better. You know, I wait too long to fix up things. That's what my problem is. Okay, there we go. Follow along. Follow along. You will get the gist of this study as you follow along with me. I'm trying to lay a premise. Okay? Does it appear that the word is saying, that the Bible is saying, that the independent man is never able to satisfy his thirst for significance and purpose? Yes, that's exactly what he's saying. But when I believe in God, that is satisfied because God will never allow anything to take place in your life, on your life, that is against your life. He will never allow that to take place. He will always substantiate you. Would you agree with me that in due time, one will be able to tell this by looking just simply into another man's face? Because it's going to show you. Now, another question that I ask is, now let's look at the dependent man. How does the man that depends upon God live? Stay in Jeremiah, that same book. I'm not going to take you down. And what does it say? Jeremiah 17, verses 7 and 8. Now, you see what it says in the verses before. But now, 7 and 8. And it reads like this: Blessed is the man that trusts in the Lord and whose trust is in the Lord. Now, what will he be like? It says, For he will be like a tree planted by the water that extends its roots by a stream and will not fear when the heat comes, but its leaves will be green, and it will not be anxious in the year of drought, nor cease to yield fruit. See, that's why I tell the millennial, if you believe in the God that I believe in, you don't even have to work up a sweat in life because he got you taken care of as long as you extol him. Extolling God is what the secret is, young person. And you'll never understand that until you get there. Now let's take a look at this. Whereas the independent man is miserable, the dependent man is one that is blessed. He's like a tree that is planted by the streams of living waters. The roots go down deep, and nothing but good fruit comes from it. Look what's growing under me. Good fruit, a part of me. Cancer is not my enemy. Cancer is my friend. It's mine, living in my body, a part of me. Any kind of radical care to cast it from me and to do all that only brings anxiety. I'm trying to give you another way to look at who you are and how you live and what we're confronted with. That's very, very important to do. Oh, someone let my dog in. Hello, Harcourt. Hear those pitty pat feet? All right. He is not one that is living on an oasis. Rather, he is one that is living life. Now, isn't that interesting? Because people ask me all the time, do you have anything on your bucket list that you still want to do? The answer is no, absolutely not. Because when I'm satisfied on the inside of my soul, there is no satisfaction on the outside. that could ever suffice and make me happy. No, I don't try to live out bucket lists. It doesn't make any sense. All right, let's see. You know that none of us are exempt from hard times because hard times come to all men. That's the real part of living. Everyone suffers from one time or another. Everyone gets something. Everyone stumbles. Everyone has pitfalls. What I want you to do is to face them and to not see them as odd and not to let that change the way you do your life. I'm not a life coach. I'm not trying to show you how to, you know what I'm trying to do? If you live, you're going to gain some finance where you're going to eat and have shelter, have relations with other people, and you're going to live through life, and unfortunate incidents will come your way. And if they do, you will be able to manage that by how you manage who you are and how you confront life. That is not only your responsibility, but God will give you the ability to do it. The dog came in here and he's making scratching sounds in my office. Now, there's a difference between the faces of an independent and a dependent man because a dependent man who's dependent upon God is always content because he knows that God is going to come forward it and bring it to pass. When I read the Jeremiah text, even though I know who Jeremiah was and who the people was he traveled with, I can apply that scripture to me because I want to be dependent upon my creator. I didn't say dependent upon some special man that keeps me safe, but my creator. I was created by something, someone so far larger than myself that I can do no less than to rejoice in what I've found in him. Don't pay me any attention. I'm just doing business here. So, people that don't depend upon God believe that money and obtaining it allows them to have power. Well, that this money lubricates their system that they live in. And having all this power is what qualifies them to be independent of all others. So if you think people like Elon lives like that, or people that runs Google and all that, these people making millions of dollars and living in Silicon Valley and making all this money, you think these people are happy? Who was the man that was running the people that make my phone? Mac. He got cancer and died. He was still young. Didn't even have a full head of gray hair. He hadn't lived his life, but he'd been around the world. He ate in the best of restaurants. What does that mean? Absolutely nothing. The illusion of power is what we're talking about. Today's man feels that this is his ultimate purpose in life is to get power over other men. I see someone chided in. You really think so? No, you wouldn't. If I gave you $1 million, son, man, look here. Yeah, this is Guillermo. If I gave you $1 million, that wouldn't make you happy. It would make you happy. You'd be able to buy what you want to buy. But I've seen some of your toys. That wouldn't make you happy. You take your family and your mom and everybody to your favorite restaurants, you'd feed them. You'd be served, treated like kings. That wouldn't make you happy. What would make you happy is that if you can go home and say, I'm going to go to sleep, you can crawl in your bed and have a good night's sleep and wake up the next morning and stretch every limb in your body and say, thank you, God, for bringing me through. Oh, I know. Oh, I know. And but $1 million would not make you happy. I'm gonna prove it. I'm gonna try. Hey, Kaylin, Emmanuel, come here. I need a body. Come here. I need a body. Let's see. They knew what I was going to talk about. They didn't want to come in because they couldn't face it. They couldn't face it. That all that matters when you're living is how you're living and how you die. I need someone to answer a question for me. All right. See, and they're afraid to watch it. I'm going to ask them this question about living, dying. They never want to discuss it. They never want to discuss it. It is like, don't discuss that with me, John. They're going to end up the way I end up if they don't get hit by a bus or something. In this city, you can be walking down the street and lose your life. And I know people have short memory span when they listen to me. They say I talk too much. I'm not making no sense. Let me tell you something. I'm making all the sense in the world. And you know it. All the sense in the world. You know, if you had all the money you ever needed.
Hey John, I'm here.
Yes, I
I
need.
just got back from walking hardcore, so I was just kind of.
Oh, that's why you
And I
came
was
in there
cooking.
so happy.
Happy.
Okay.
Oh, that's the reason why hardcore came in here happy.
Yes.
Yeah, he went
And
on
I
a
didn't
little
know.
adventure.
He
And
went.
actually, I have a story behind that too. I met a senior citizen on the way.
Okay.
She said she's 82 and she's going through dementia.
Oh my.
And she was like, I have to take these walks, you know. And I took a walk with her, me and hardcore. She had to go to she's suffering slight dementia,
Yes.
and she's in her right mind, and she was like, I gotta take my, these people will hit you, you know. She's just like you, the way you think.
Yes.
She's still in her right mind, you
Yes.
know. And but you know, she can't, something about, I told her, do you write things down? She said no. You know, you have to get your thoughts out and your ideas out to, these are resources.
I have a question for you.
Yeah, what's the question? Because that's the reason why I'm in here. I'm sorry, I got caught up in my walk.
Now, Guillermo, you listen to this.
My name is Kaylin, by the way, you guys.
He knows who you are.
What's your question?
If you had $1 million right now and your bank account is yours,
Mm-hmm.
would you be happier?
Uh, I don't think revenue, there's revenue and your happiness, meaning your mental, it doesn't equate. But if I had $1 million, I would invest in create a business to where.
Would it make you
No, it would not.
happy?
No, it would not. No, no.
See, when somebody is in my presence, They know it because they seen me without money, and I'm happy.
And I
Money
think
ain't never
that's
made nobody happy.
yeah, it's your reality. And what creates happiness for me is community.
Community.
It really does.
Okay.
I just, people who can support me and I can support them. I feel very, very happy when I can support someone else. It makes me happy.
Do you think the power qualifies you to be an independent thinker?
No, because power, I mean, it's a slippery slope. I don't look at anybody who has power for advice. Again, it just goes back to community.
I want you guys to
The only
listen.
higher power to me is my spirit and God and the way we align. You know, I take
Okay.
it step by step, day by day.
I want you guys to listen to this. I'm reading that paragraph right down here.
Yeah,
This is a statement worth reading. It was written by a guy named John White. I have it
Sean White.
on this cast so you can cut it and print it. I hope I spelt it
I'm gonna
right.
look them up.
I retyped it. They look up everything on Google. I don't understand it.
Mm, well, you don't understand it because you was born in what 1940 something. It's okay. This is today's.
He did he just tell me it's all right to be
It's
80?
okay to be old.
Who's
At
got
80 years old. You try to compare
We didn't
yes,
have no damn Google to go to.
but now we do. So it's
Why
it's
don't you
it's okay.
just listen to John White's statement? Why are you
Yeah,
not
I'm gonna look him up. I don't know him.
Does he have to be famous in order to be
No, he does
believed?
not. Should I educate myself on him because you're talking about him? Yes. I don't know
Maybe
who he
it's just
is.
me. Listen to this. And I'm asking you this question after reading this.
Yes.
Who is the person referring to?
Okay.
I'm going to see if he picks up on it.
Yeah, come on, listen.
During the past half century, he has in fact been trivialized, packaged for entertainment, presented as a sort of psychological panacea, a heavenly glue to keep happy families together, a celestial slot machine to respond to our whims, a formula for success, a fundraiser for pseudo-religious enterprises, a slick phrase for bumper stickers, and a sort of holy pie and ice cream. Who is the writer speaking of?
He's speaking to the people who want their cake and eat it too.
No, he didn't get it.
Boom!
He didn't get it. He didn't get it. And you
And
know
I
why he
get
didn't
it.
get it?
I get
You
it.
know why he
That
didn't get
paragraph said a
No,
lot.
who is that paragraph speaking of?
I'm talking to the masses, okay?
No, wait a minute. It says during the past half century, that means 50 years, and I've been in
Right.
this house over 50 years. He has been trivialized. Who is the he? If he's been trivialized, that means, oh, he ain't got no power. He ain't nothing. Then it says package for entertainment. Oh, yes, I'm going to play Jesus. Presented as a sort of psychological panacea. Call on him, a heavenly glue to keep your families happy. We need to pray together. Who is the person that this John White is talking about?
I will say the
Well, I rest
person.
my case, ladies and
No,
gentlemen.
I say the person
Who is the person?
I mean, I'm
It's
talking to the masses, okay?
yes.
I'm not all into the Bible
See,
like
I
you
have
are.
that paragraph right here, right under this thing, and I got four people watching me right now. If they read that, they're gonna see all of that, and I'm saying, who is that man speaking about?
What's he speaking about, John? Come on, tell us.
I give up. I give up. I could have stopped it at an hour, but I wanted him to come. I give up. And that is what we confronted with. Watch this. And I know him. I know him. This is a good young man. This Where do you get your strength and direction from?
Um, really, I really try to focus on gratitude and taking my time, really, because he always tell me like, "You're so quiet these days." Sometimes I don't have all the things to say. I just really want to be to myself,
Where
you know.
where do you get your strength from? How do you get your build up?
So leading to that, um, stability,
What?
stability, focusing on me and who I am.
Why can't you focus
You know,
on s- something higher than you?
as far as God, come on, let's keep it real. I'm not that too
I
much
I
focused.
depend upon God like that.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. Listen, I take it day by day. Okay, so when I wake up, thank you, Lord. I praise Him. Gratitude. But as far as the higher power,
Do you
and
believe
I
that?
talk to. Let me keep it real with you.
Okay, keep it real.
Listen, I have my own relationship with Him, and I don't feel like that's Him. That's the higher power, right? But growing up, being a part of the LGBTQIA plus, now, it's growing. When I was younger, every time I committed a sexual act, I used to be like, Lord, I used to pray to God, like, I don't want to be this anymore. And I feel like different, it's a different relationship with him and I now
What? And well, how is it different?
because I don't look at
Because you
him
say
as
the
a
same thing.
because I don't look at him as an answer machine like I used to.
Good
And
for you.
that's the way in my younger years, that's the way it was portrayed to me in preachers and everything,
Ah, yeah,
and you have to have your own relationship with him and don't let anybody, meaning the vessel, you have to be teachable and you have to be, you can have discernment and all those things, yes.
yeah,
But it's all about what you take in and what you really let out. Because, John, I hear everything that you always have to say, okay? When we
yeah. I
have
believe that.
discussions
Yeah,
and I dissect and ingest what fits for me,
yeah.
period. And that's all it is.
Do you
Communication.
pick and choose? If somebody told you that God gives us directives through a book that He's left over the centuries, that Bible,
Hmm.
how much credence do you put in that?
Because Reading is fundamental. We don't be reading. Okay. Again,
I know you don't read it as I read it.
yes,
I read
we're
it
on two
because I'm
different
trying to.
levels, and so we
Yes.
can't have this conversation. For me, it's more spiritual. You know, I pick it up like energy. I pick it up in you. I pick it up when you you know what it is.
Yes.
It's your conscious. It's your spirit telling you something, and that's what lives on.
It's
Not the vessel.
it's like I
Not
told
this.
my
Not this.
audience.
I look good right now. You know what I'm saying? But then again, fate happens.
Yes.
So it's all about within.
I'm
And
surprised you've
I'm
answered.
really focused on being a
You've answered
reflection.
very well.
Yeah, because this is my reality. And what's your reality is your reality. Everybody needs to focus on what's their reality and stop trying to maneuver and swerve. Because that's where you get, like, I would say, um, belligerent. Why are you belligerent when you have a family to focus on? You have your own life to focus on. Everything going on in the world, it's it's too much going on.
He's one of the ones that get it
You're gonna live.
because, see, he gets it. He's one of the ones. Did you know that when you were cooking the chicken, do you know what happened in the stove?
Yeah, I called Emmanuel because I seen it and I was like, "What happened?" But the
Okay.
chicken wasn't done cooking. It just
I had
something.
to, yeah, well, I had to
Yeah,
turn
it
the
was
oven
smoking, and
on.
he told me. Yeah, but
Yes.
it wasn't the chicken. It was just something
It was some
the
juice,
oven, yeah, that
some
kind
of
of
the
boiled
juice in the
over.
oven.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I cut it down. I cut it back on, but I cut it down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but and I was supposed to be back, but I got caught up with the lady walking hardcore, and I was like, what? She probably don't have nobody to take a stroll with her right now, and that's what I was thinking about because
You wasn't
again,
thinking
I
about
was
me, were
refer
you?
no, I was referencing you. Yes, she's not like you. She's not. She said she's suffering from dementia a bit, but she's still in her right mind.
Yeah.
She's just forgetful. That's all it is.
Yeah, well,
And she said,
I'm,
I have to go for a walk. I have to do it every day, and
yeah, it keeps her strong in her
it keeps
mind.
her strong and alert, and like she's still in her right mind. And so I paid for her. She didn't really want anything. She got a little pizza and like something to drink, and we had a good conversation.
That's
And she's been
great.
living in this neighborhood for 30 years.
That's good.
She just like you. And so I did meeting her because she was scared of hardcore, and she was on a little walker. She was taking her time. Take your time. It's
Well,
no rush.
I'm telling
It's
you,
no rush.
I'm
No, no,
gonna
not you. This is
have to
nothing. This
do
is
it
nothing to do with you.
because
Me as a young man, y'all, don't let society and different stigmas and ideas, opinions force you or rush you to do what you have to do. Okay? As long as you're on the right path and you're focused and you're sometimes it can be a little blurry. Yeah, that's life. One step at a time. There's no timeline to this.
don't say,
And no, 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 no. I will say this.
oh, these.
It's no timeline to it, but focus. Okay? Maintain. You're gonna be all right. We are gonna be all right. One step at a time.
Well, I think that kind of like does it for the cast today because I believe that he believes in the same God I believe in
I do.
because he approaches it just the way I approach it. Be careful if you approach your life by saying, I don't need God for anything. I can do all this on my own. I'm
No.
smart.
Yeah,
I
that's
got
not
this.
the right
No, no, no.
approach.
That's not the right way. No, no, no. Because he that created the universe
Yeah,
will create a special world for you
yeah.
that you will wish you were not in. Thank you for stepping
And
in.
don't and
Is that chicken done?
uh, I'm gonna check on that right now.
Thank you. See, it's about time for me to eat some dinner.
Bye, chat.
It's some. Oh, it's good to see you, Xerix. Xerix, I need you to come by and pick up some of this stuff. So you need to talk to me like you're gonna let me know when you're coming by to get it. I've already started communication with my family, and we're gonna start closing out some things. And so I have tons and tons of work that I'm going to give over to you so you can at least start looking at it. So give me a call when you're ready to do that. G Man, it's not my prognosis of this thing that I have, this lump in my arm, is that you see, you can see it right there. See the difference in the arms? It's bigger there. That's where it is, right there. Right there. See, that's it. And it's growing right under my arm. And so I'm going Friday so that the pathology department can take another picture of it. I told you guys I was going to keep you informed as to how I'm doing. They're going to take a picture and they're going to start talking about what stage is it in. And we've already discussed what I'm going to do. I am not going to take chemotherapy. No, that's out. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to lose my mind. And that's what would happen. And the worst thing that you want to see is a PJ that lost his mind. A lot of you think I lost my mind. I haven't lost my mind. And so I don't want to take the chemo. And but I can still drink a nice bottle of red wine at any time. I've been eating more meats and food that I want to eat because now I'm not trying to regulate my anything, and so I can stay here another 50 years. I know that's not going to happen. And so I love you for your prayers, for your kind thoughts, and just please share with my friends. I should have had it raised on my computer so that I could tell you what kind of cancer it is because he told me and I understood it when he gave me consultation. Very good doctor, one of the best in the Kaiser Permanente sections. But I love you guys and I appreciate you coming to listen to me when I talk with you. Just wanted to talk about what these millennials are trained and taught to believe about how they're going to be successful. You got to get in the marketplace of ideas and do a work. Well, thank you. Yeah, that would be fine. Yeah, swing by. I had uh Mark. Mark came by, not Mark Ramsey. Mark Smith came by and spent a few hours with me in the studio here, and we talked. Reggie was by today. I have guys calling all the time. Just come on by. I'm here. If I'm not here, I'm at a doctor's appointment. And so call me first and let me know that you're coming by. Would love to see more of you. I want to end up this life communicating and talking with some of the people that I loved immensely. I know certain people still don't want to talk with me. Over all the years, they won't speak with me as their pastor. I don't know what's wrong with them, but I have to leave those people alone. Those people are left in their paranoid, schizophrenic mentality wherever they are, and I hope they do well. As for me, I'm enjoying my life. Thank you so much for coming to the website and listening to the old man. I hope this one worked. Thank you all for tuning in.